Hey, what's up, Silver Stackers? Thank you for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I have a very serious conversation that I want to share with you all, and it's regarding if we should be buying American made silver, if that should be what our stack consists of. Now, I'm sure a lot of you turned your back on Eagles since they have these extremely high premiums. But when we look at the reality of the situation, the totality of what's happening around the world, country to country, we might be best off owning silver that's made in the United States. This whole idea started when I interviewed Andy Schectman, the CEO of Miles Franklin. That is the company that filled the $50 million order from the billionaire, that lady in Texas. She bought all American-made silver, 900,000 eagles, over 100,000 ounces in junk and gold. Now, Andy was talking about why she bought all American-made silver. See, there's this guy named Bill Holder. He's the one that put together that order for the lady. He said there's going to be two resets, one man-made, one natural, and he truly believes the government will confiscate anything non-American made. Now, regardless if you think that will happen or not, there is, and we know this for a fact, a very serious and sinister situation happening around the world where these countries are opting out of the US dollar being the world's reserve currency, the petrodollar, basically kicking the United States off to the curb. Now, I am not personally going to talk about the entirety, the totality of that situation, because I don't know. But when I interviewed Andy, he went deep into this situation. I highly recommend you go check out the interview, because that's where this whole thought kind of started as, you know what? Owning Eagles and junk silver might be the best option. And by the way, if you want to purchase from Miles Franklin, all you have to do is send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know that you want Eagles or whatever you want. They can fill your order. Andy Schectman filled the 900,000 Eagle order in 2 days. I can't think of any other company in the world that could have pulled that off. And that's because Andy Schectman is very respected and has a lot of resources in the industry. He's one of the top dogs. So I'm honored to be working with him and let him know that Silver Slayer sent you if you do decide to purchase from them. It's very beneficial to build a relationship with someone like that instead of just buying from a third-party site online where you don't know who else is behind the screen filling your order. With Miles Franklin, you definitely do. Now, there is a lot of gray area, and this is why this conversation is so complex. My moderator brought this to the table. You know, the U.S. Mint gets a lot of their silver planchets from the Sunshine Mint. What about other private mints and you know, rounds and bars that are made in America? Does that count as well, or is it only government-backed coins made from the U.S. Mint? You know, junk silver and Eagles. See, this is why I'm so grateful to be able to have a relationship with Andy Schectman. He's kind of taking me under his wing. By the way, I also am interviewing David Morgan on Friday. I'll probably post the interview on Saturday. But this is all stuff I can ask him. And actually, me and Andy, or Andy and I, are going to be starting a little podcast thing every Wednesday. I think Wednesday. We're going to just shoot the crap, you know, talk about silver, market updates. I can ask him more about these types of questions, so on and so forth, because he is so knowledgeable, right? When I interviewed him, I didn't speak once. He was just going in on things that I had no idea about. Very deep stuff that most people don't. Now, I do know this, though. American Eagles have been and are the most recognizable coin in the world. You can take an eagle anywhere across the world and they will know that coin has value. They might not understand the 1 ounce of silver inside of it, but everyone understands that coin is valuable. You can't do that with any other coin. No other coin has that type of you know, aspect to it. Now, junk silver is just as beneficial, and actually there are some better advantages beyond Eagles that junk offers, especially if you're in this for trading and bartering. Junk silver is fractional silver. It's a piece of American history. It's still backed by the US government, but most importantly, it's fractional. Imagine trying to trade or barter with someone where they're offering you something that isn't worth a full ounce, especially in the future if silver's extremely valuable. What are you going to do? Take a chainsaw to your coin? No, fractional silver would be perfect for that type of situation. Just like how we use change in today's world. If you want to buy a stick of gum from the store, but it's not worth $1, if all you have are dollar bills, you're screwed if the other person doesn't have change. Junk silver is change in the bartering world moving forwards. Now, there is a lot of confusion about junk silver, and I want to break it down as easy as possible for people to understand how to get the best deals and how not to get ripped off. Junk silver is sold at face value. It's not sold in ounces. Now, there is a very important equation that you need to know or you will 100% get ripped off. Without this equation, you don't know if you're getting a better deal between junk and eagles. For example, let's say that you want to go to the local coin shop and you see a stack of, 18 eagles, but you're also considering buying some junk. How do you know if you're trying to buy 18 ounces, which is the better deal since junk silver is sold at face value? Face value is what you need to know because that's what junk is sold by. So for example, $10 face is 20 walking liberties because 20 walking liberties, which are 50 cents, adds up to $20 or $10, sorry. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you determine face value, add it up just like normal change. But the equation is face value times 0.715, and that will tell you exactly how many troy ounces are in $10 face. And then you could compare the amount of ounces in that $10 face to eagles, or how many eagles you're willing to buy, and you can compare which is the better deal because you're comparing troy ounce in junk to troy ounce in eagles. So let's use this equation in a real life situation. You go to the local coin shop and he has $32 face in junk. So you're trying to figure out if that would be a better deal than getting just all eagles. So you would do 32 times 0.715, which means there's 22.88 troy ounces in $32 face. So then you could also go get 22 or 23 ounces of eagles, and whatever of those two piles of silver is cheaper is the better deal, whether it's the $32 face or the 22 eagles or 23 eagles. And that's how you can compare. Now, there are, there's different advantages to both. Like I said, junk silver, it's fractional. They don't make it anymore, so it's scarce, and it actually could start growing somewhat of a premium since it's so scarce and since so much of it gets melted down. I mean, if you want a prime example, look at Morgans. Morgans stopped being minted in 1921, so they have, a 45-year leap or a 45-year gap on constitutional. And Morgans are a very expensive coin, especially with condition. So that could be something else that plays in favor of junk. Plus, sometimes there's key dates. Sometimes there's a lot to it. So let's say you're going to the local coin shop and you don't want BU eagles. A lot of times they have like a scrap bin or coal eagles. That's another way to get cheaper eagles. A lot of people complain that eagles premiums are so high, but that's because you're looking at perfect, brilliant, uncirculated eagles on APMEX or somewhere. Yes, those are going to be more expensive, but if you just get some raw, dinged up, scratched eagles, I'm sure it's cheaper. And when we're looking at purchasing American-made silver for the reasons we are, whether it's brilliant uncirculated or a call eagle, it makes no difference because we're not selling it by condition. We're selling it or we're buying it because it's silver made in America. You see what I'm saying? So this is a very complex situation. And when I bring Andy Schechtman on the channel for the show we're going to start weekly, I'm definitely going to ask him to dive deeper into this topic. Like I said, I highly recommend, and I will link the video where he breaks that situation down. I actually cut a portion because it was an hour plus interview, and he talks about that situation for about 15 minutes, and I cut the 15-minute segment and made an entire video out about that. And the reason we actually started that conversation is because I brought up the topic of triple digit silver. I talked about triple digit silver being around the year 2025, maybe 2026 max tops. And he said, and I brought that, my reasoning was because the shortage, right? The amount of silver we're going to need for solar panels, electric vehicles, 5G towers, silver lithium ion batteries, so on and so forth. Plus, most of the silver that's in the solar panels is thrown away, never to be recycled or re-scrapped or recovered. Plus, silver is a byproduct. Plus, we're advancing this new digital technological era. We're going to need more and more and more of it. But there's already a supply deficit. The COMEX vaults are nearly empty at this point. The numbers don't lie. But he said, yes, all of that is exactly correct. But then he goes into the other situation, the financial stuff, the petrodollar, the stuff that was talking about the global elites and the countries that are kicking America to the curb, and why that also on top of what my reasoning would be a lot sooner. So he said triple digit silver a lot sooner. So I do recommend you go watch that interview or that segment, the video I'll link in the description of that interview. Very important stuff. And I'm going to ask deeper into the situation because if that's true, if they confiscate any silver that's non-American, which I don't know how they would do that, whether you have to turn it in. I mean, obviously they're not going to kick down your front door. They've done that before with gold in times of, more barbaric times. The last confiscation of gold was the Executive Order 6102 by FDR, when he stated, and I quote, you have to turn in all your gold or you're going to spend 10 years in prison or a $10,000 fine or both. So you had to. The gold was not yours anymore. Even if it was sitting in your safe, that's not yours. It's owned by the Federal Reserve. But regardless, that's what it would look like. Now, I've made videos talking about 100% silver confiscation, regardless if it's made in America or not. And that's because the silver shortage, the amount of silver we would need to make solar panels in electric vehicles, and they would probably play the angle of, help save the world, because silver is the main thing we need for the world to go green. Zero net emissions by the year 2040. We're talking about global warming, climate change. Silver could be the reason. We'll have to put making EVs on a halt, or put the Green New Deal at a standstill. It would be silver. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen, but for anyone who thinks we have enough silver for the world to go green, you're like David Morgan said, you're a dreamer. But regardless, that's my reasoning for confiscation of silver. But then we have this other angle. So American-made silver does have beneficial aspects to it. I am curious what you think. Eagles are more expensive. They're more expensive than other coins, right? So whether you would, and I don't recommend this, converting your stack into Eagles. I don't recommend that. What I would recommend, or this is what I'm going to start doing personally, is just finding raw coal silver Eagles. They don't have to be brilliant uncirculated. If you find some brilliant uncirculated Eagles, then fine. Now, I don't really even consider silver pricey. Let's say all you can find are Eagles sold for $35. Now, that might seem pricey compared to other coins you can get, but is $35 really pricey for an American Eagle? No. Because if you compare $35 to a 1 ounce silver coin, that's nothing. The price is not $35 is irrelevant. It's worthless. Spot price is worthless. $35 is nothing compared to an ounce of silver. Zero. So when you really think about $35 is too pricey for a coin like an Eagle or any type of ounce, you're looking at it the wrong way. You're looking at it from dollar terms. No matter who says that 1 ounce coin is worth what is irrelevant, because the coin's value is the 1 ounce inside of it, not the price tag. $35 bills is worth nothing and will, and especially in, a couple of years, will be worth even less. But that 1 ounce American Eagle will always have 1 ounce of silver inside of it. So yes, you might be able to get more ounces buying generics or something, but there might be some very good reasons to own silver made in America. What do you think? I'm not telling you guys to go out and buy Eagles. I'm just saying, or buy junk even. I'm just saying that from what I've heard and from some of the conversations I've been having, it does bring up some good points that maybe that would be the route to go. Are you going to go that route? Have you been going that route? I don't recommend. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying I do not recommend converting your stack already you have into Eagles, because you would lose probably half your stack. Right? You'd lose probably half your stack. So what I would do is start to now buy, if you want to go that route, start to buy, Eagles and junk silver from this point on. Don't backdate your stack and convert it, losing about half. I think I'm going to start doing this. I don't have many Eagles anymore. I used to. Eagles are the most recognizable coin. It's a very solid coin. There's no numismatic value because it's a very, they're minted in tens of millions per year. There's nothing special about them. I guess nowadays you do have the Type 1 and Type 2 Eagles, which there was a mintage cap on. There's a lot of controversy regarding the U.S. Mint, so that could actually play to your advantage as well, especially since the U.S. Mint is going to continue having difficulty finding a sufficient amount of silver, right? Silver planchets, since they have certain laws that other mints don't have. They'll be even more scarce, right? But also, for example, I have the 2021 MS70 Morgan silver dollar, MS70 version, 2021. Well, remember, Morgan and silver piece dollars got canceled in 2022. So that means my Morgan probably just got even more rare, because that's the first year they brought back Morgans. That's the 100-year anniversary since they stopped being minted in 1921. I have 100 years later the 2021 MS70 version, and the next year they got canceled because they don't have enough silver. So things like that could also bring, even more profits to the table. So there is so many different reasons why American-made silver can be beneficial to your stack. Maybe, I'm not saying your entire stack has to be that. I'm just saying that with everything going on right now, in totality around the world, and these elite governments, and the petrodollar and the USD, especially this global situation exposed how broke America really is. All this combined, things really could get serious. I'm not trying to spread this doom and gloom. I'm just saying we got to be prepared, and silver made in America does start to make a lot more sense than it did before you bring these topics and these conversations to the table. So I'd like to pass the question to you. Do you buy, Eagles and Morgans and junk silver? And do you buy silver minted by the United States? Or do you think that this really doesn't matter and you could buy any type of silver? Did this topic start to really, pique your interest, and maybe you're going to start? And what would your strategy moving forwards be? This is a whole different side of silver stacking strategies that we've never really had to think about yet. Well, at least from my point of view, I've never had to think about, almost finding, switching everything up on the spot and buying silver specifically from one mint. I've never had to deal with that. Yes, back pre-2020, I used to recommend Eagles to every single beginner because they were the lowest over spot, right? They were the cheapest, most plain, boring, bottom of the barrel bullion coin. Eagles were. Now it's literally the exact opposite. Now they're the most expensive coin in the world. But regardless, like I said, if you look at $35 versus $32 for a coin or whatever, I don't compare silver in dollars anymore, because $35 bills is worth nothing compared to to a 1 ounce coin, or 1 ounce of silver in general, regardless if it's a coin or a round or a bar. So yeah, wanted to bring this conversation to the table. I hope I captured it correctly. I was kind of nervous making this video because there's so much substance, and I really hope that I portrayed it, and I gave off I worded it correctly for you guys to really understand what I'm talking about. It's such a deep conversation that has so many layers to it, and beyond where I can even comprehend to some extent. When you're talking about what Bill Holder and Andy Scheckman were talking about, they were talking about some crazy stuff, like countries that are that are forming together, and forming these elite groups and yada yada. I mean, it's insane stuff, but we know it is happening to some extent. I just don't know if some of the outcomes of what that situation would be regarding confiscating any type of silver that's not made in America. Regardless if that's going to happen, I still see a lot of benefits of buying silver made in America beyond that. Remember, there's a reason why that lady purchased 900,000 eagles and 100,000 ounces in junk, right? All U.S. mint. Why? Right? That's stuff we have to think about. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Remember, if you want to purchase from Miles Franklin, send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know you want to buy Eagles or Britannias or whatever you want. They'll hook you up. Let them know Silver Slayer sent you. It's very beneficial building a relationship with a direct source like Andy Scheckman, because he can do things most mints can't. And building that relationship could be very beneficial for the future. Their website will be up shortly as well, but right now, buying through emails just as easy. Just as easy. You don't got to worry about anything. He's got you. They're the most respected, trustable company in the world. They've never had a negative review in the 45 years. Everyone trusts them. The billionaire trusted them as well. There's a reason for that. I doubt you'd trust any other mint, or any other bullion dealer. So anyways, yeah, I'm also doing a massive 60,000 subscriber giveaway. You don't want to miss it. Going to be some big stuff, very big prizes. So go enter. You're going to see the entry video actually to the video that's about to pop up on your screen. The right side, it will say giveaway or silver giveaway. Go enter, may the luckiest stacker win. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.